Hi, my name is Muhammad Hassan Akbal from class T2A. Today I want to explain about question 1A and B. The question 1 is express the cell data for each branch in a matrix form. So first the row is a branch, it is a Puncak Alam, Shah Alam and Siti Alam. Second, the column is type of coffee, latte, hazelnut and matcha. So we can do is Puncak Alam 9, 10 and 40. Shah Alam 16, 12 and 8. Siti Alam 50, 9 and 10. For question 1B, write the cost of production of each brand in matrix form. So, the cost of production for per unit, latte is 5 ringgit, hazelnut 10 ringgit and matcha 8 ringgit. It can be written in cosmetic is C equals to 5, 10 and 8. To find the total cost of each branch, Puncak Alam, Shah Alam and Siti Alam, sale matrix multiply to cost matrix. So SC equals to 9, 16, 15, 10, 12, 9, 48, 10 and V equals so after we multiply, the answer is Puncak Alam 257, Shah Alam 264, Siti Alam is 245. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yasmin Najiha from T2A. Today I will explain for question 1C and D. First, for the question 1C, the branch matrix has 3 rows and 3 columns because there are 3 branches, which is Puncak Alam, Shah Alam, Siti Alam, and 3 type of the coffee, which is latte, hazelnut, matcha. Therefore, the order of the branch matrix is 3 times 3. So the price matrix only lists the price for each type of coffee in hazelnut column, which is latte, hazelnut and matcha. Therefore, the order of the price matrix is 3 times 1. So next for the question D. First, we will calculate the profit per unit by subtracting the cost from the selling price. The profit is 5 ringgit for latte, 5 ringgit for hazelnut and 4 ringgit for matcha. Next, we use the sale matrix which shows the number of coffee sold at each brand. So, to find the total profit, we multiply the sales metric with the profit metric. For example, for Puncak Alam, we multiply the number of coffee sold with the profit per unit and then add them together to get the total profit. After calculate all branches, we get the total profit for Puncak Alam, Shah Alam and Siti Alam. So, Shah Alam has the highest profit among the 3 branches.
I think that Puncak Alam is the branch that he should promote more because it generated the lowest total profit, which is 151 ringgit compared to the other 2 branches. Well, I think the strategy to increase the sales of the lowest sales branch is to do the promotional discount, like for example, offer buy one free one, or loyalty stamp, specifically at the Puncak Alam branch. The other strategy to increase the sales of the lowest sales branch is to do the local marketing, which is like uh, targeted to social media ads for residents within the Puncak Alam area, because these methods directly incentivize the foot traffic and awareness in a specific underperforming location.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sarah Najwa binti Khairul Anwar from Therapeutic 2A. So today, I will explain the solution for question number 2, which involves solving a system of linear equation with 3 variables using Cramer's rule. So, in this example, I used a bakery resource allocation problem. In this situation, a bakery produced 3 types of cake, which are chocolate cake, represented by X, vanilla cake, represented by Y, and red velvet cake, represented by Z. Each cake requires a specific amount of flour, sugar, and butter to produce. Based on the ingredient usage of each cake, we can form the following system of linear equation. So the first equation represents the use of flour. Let's say 2x plus y plus 2z is equal to 15. The second equation will represent the use of sugar. Let's say x plus 3y plus 2z is equal to 19. And the last equation will represent the use of butter, which is 3x plus 2y plus z is equal to 16. Next step, we need to write the equation into a matrix form. So the matrix form will be 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1 will multiply by x, y, z and is equal to 15, 19, 16. To apply Cramer's rule, first we need to find the determinant of the coefficient matrix, which is D. So we substitute the value to find the determinant. And the determinant, we will get negative 11. And we need to find the determinant of x, which is dx. So to find dx, we just need to replace the first column with the constant. So the matrix will become 15, 1, 2, 19, 3, 2, and 16, 2, 1. So based on the matrix form, we find the determinant using the same formula like we just find the main determinant. So we will get negative 22. So after that, we find determinant of y. Determinant of y, we need to replace the second column with the constant, and the matrix form will be 2, 15, 2, 1, 19, 2, and 3, 16, 1. So we just substitute the value and calculate the dy. So we will get dy is equal to negative 33. And lastly, we need to find the determinant of z, which is dz. So same goes to dy and dx. We just replace the third column with the constant. And the matrix form will be 2, 1, 15, 1, 3, 19, and 3, 2, 16. And then we just substitute the value into the formula, and then we will get the dz is equal to negative 44. So next, we need to find the value of x, y, and z. Formula to find x, y, and z is equal to dx over d, and y for y, dy over d, and for z is dz over d. So first, we find the value of x by using the formula dx over d. So we just substitute the value for dx and d. So it will be x is equal to negative 22 over negative 11, and we will get 2. Next, we repeat the same step to find y and z. So for y is equal to negative 33 over negative 11, and y will be z is equal to negative 44 over negative 11. We will get 4. So finally, it means the bakery should produce 2 chocolate cake, 3 vanilla cake, and 4 red velvet cake. By producing these quantities, the bakery can use all the available ingredients exactly without any waste. Thank you.